Let's get this party started.
Coverage tight, spotlight on tomorrow. Who you with? Trust, you'll be delighted that you followed. At Phirst Contention, the invention. We debate sports, of course we should mention. What's that? We cover games, we don't play suspensions. We 100, so if your star's missing, we let you know your squad surely gone fishing. We never fish though, no, not our motto. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention.
Salutations, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Phirst Contention. We've got a good show for you guys. Football season on the horizon, so I mean it's time to start talking about these divisions and what's going on this upcoming season. But first, I'm your host today, Ty Sosina, and with us, of course, we've got Marvin Banks.
I said, hola, senors and senoritas.
Then we got, Stephen Davis, still married, props.
What's going on, everybody? Got high every day.
And we got one of our most famous Phirst Contention guests. Hasn't been on the show in a while. Welcome back to Molo Gundape.
Good to be back, guys. Good to be back. Ready to get in this. Let's go.
Indeed, we are set to get you ready for 2013 NFL season. We're going to start off by talking about the NFC North and the AFC North. So, in these oncoming weeks, we'll give you a breakdown of every respectable division, whether it's the West, the East, and the South. But today we will do the North, and we'll start in the North. I mean, you got Green Bay, who won at 11-5 last year. Some say it should have been 12-4, but it was 11-5. That's what the standings say. Okay, you got Minnesota, who surprised some people and got the wild card. Bears fired their coach after getting 10-6, but not making playoffs, and over an 8-mile, Lions snapped back to reality and dropped to 4-12. What do you guys see happening this year in the only division with 3 10-win teams? Marv, kick us off.
This is not even a question. It's not even a debate. Green Bay is going to win this division going away. Point blank, period. I don't need the whole 45 seconds. We could just continue on to the next subject. When you have the best quarterback in the league, when you have the best coach within the division, when you have 3 teams that haven't won in Green Bay in God knows how long, it really doesn't matter. I will give it to the Bears for a 10-6 season. They should have made the playoffs, but I have to give it to the Moles team. I mean, Adrian Peterson was a man amongst boys. But I see them bringing back down to reality. And it's still in a quote from my man Stephen A. Smith. I ponder the thought of someone playing quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. And I see that the Detroit Lions will be a better team than them this year. So I got Green Bay going 12-4, 11-5. Bears going roughly about 10-6. The Lions going about 9-7. Vikings going about 6-10.
Okay. Interesting. Disrespect is real. Steve, what do you think? What do you see happening in this division?
Well, there's only one thing that I can agree upon what he said is that Green Bay will win the division, but it won't be by a landslide. It's going to be tough. And the Minnesota Vikings showed that they can make the playoffs riding Adrian Peterson last year. And they got a little bit better this year, even though they still got Ponder back there trying to manage the game. But they got some weapons for them. They got Greg Jennings. Cal Rudolph is turned into a formidable tight end. I forgot the wide receiver they drafted. But either way it goes, you hand the ball off to Adrian Peterson, you can open the field up for Greg Jennings. That's going to be a formidable team if they start managing the game well. Chicago Bears is going to be the Cutler and Brandon Marshall show, and I don't know how long that's going to last in that division. So I don't really see them going far. And Reggie Bush with Detroit, I don't know about that either. So I still think Green Bay will win the division, but Minnesota's going to be right on their tail.
I think it's important to state that Green Bay will be without its left tackle, Brian Bulaga, in the season, an off-season of torn ACLs. They are one of these teams suffering from a torn ACL. Bulaga is out. You got to shuffle that O-line. And despite how good Aaron Rodgers is, he did get sacked quite a bit last year. Also, important to mention, Jordy Nelson, knee injury, minor, will be back by the time the regular season starts. But seems like that's not deterring anyone from still picking Green Bay. Demola, you set?
Yes, I am.
All right, go ahead. You have the floor.
I understand why everybody is such a fan of the Green Bay Packers. They have the best quarterback, arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. But guess what? Quarterbacking is important, but it's not everything, and it's been proven that for the last 2 years. Because the last 2 years, they've had arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. In the last 2 years, they haven't gone to the Super Bowl. So what is it about the Green Bay Packers that's going to make them any different this upcoming year than the past years? They're less equipped offensively with the loss of Greg Jennings, who is now with the Minnesota Vikings, which leads me to my point that I believe the Minnesota Vikings will be the team that wins the division, the NFC North, this year. We have Adrian Peterson. I do believe Christian Ponder may not be the prototypical, quarterback or top 10 quarterback that leads the team to win the division, but it's been proven that he can manage a game, and that's the most important thing. Can he manage the game? And he can do that. So with the addition of Cordarrelle Patterson in the draft, with Greg Jennings, I believe, and Kyle Rudolph, I think Christian Ponder's got the weapons he needs to be able to manage the game and play effectively. Now, the Bears, they're not going to do anything, so I don't know why Ty Wilson is laughing over there. They're probably going to finish below Detroit.
Demola, you cannot sit there and say with a serious face that Christian Ponder will lead you past the Green Bay Packers. I don't care what you say. And you cannot arguably say that Greg Jennings is going to make that a better team when Christian Ponder is throwing him.
First of all, this is
Adrian Peterson takes direct snaps.
Okay.
No way possible. There is no way. Adrian Peterson almost outran Christian Ponder's throwing yards last year. There is no way possible.
That's ridiculous.
Humanly possible.
Are you just gonna keep degrading my team and berating it with all of this rhetoric that you're using instead of actually making any sort of tangible argument? Because first, let me lay down some facts for you. Christian Ponder is going to his third year into the NFL. His first year he had a 70.1 quarterback passer rating. His second year he's got an 80.2.
Okay, we like stats.
He's improving, all right? This is only his third year in the league. We've been so accustomed to seeing the RG3s and the Andrew Lucks just step in and have these 85 passer ratings. But typically it takes time for a quarterback to develop in the NFL. This is his third year. Let him develop. He did great as a rookie quarterback. He did great as a sophomore quarterback. He's continuing to progress. And I believe that this third year you're going to really see a breakout player. And a breakout player to the point where he has the weapons around him. Not just a Percy Harvin in the slot, but he's got somebody on the outside that can spread the field in Cordarrelle Patterson, and he's got a great slot receiver in Greg Jennings. In fact, Greg Jennings can play on the inside, he can play on the outside. He's got a great versatile slot receiver, and he's got Adrian Peterson. He's going to be okay. Okay, he's going to be okay.
Demola, you do make some decent points. Who can fault you after having 3 first-round draft picks? I can understand why you'd be so excited. And Marv, we all know that your defense isn't what it has been since you guys won the Super Bowl. But even this is a tough pill for me to swallow. I will say in defense of my Bears, it's not like the last rookie middle linebacker that started preseason for us wasn't a Hall of Famer in Dick Butkus. And it's not like the last time we won a Super Bowl, we had an offensive-minded head coach. So I'm not going to put any, anything on them. But I'm prepared for what should be a pretty good season. Let's flip it over to what is
for the Bears.
Wait,
I'm sorry. Did you say good season for the Bears?
I think the Bears will turn it.
Now you got a coach. He's never even been an NFL head coach before. His only head coaching experience is in the Canadian Football League. You're telling me he's going to come into the story franchise of the Chicago Bears, all of a sudden going to turn that franchise around the way Lovie Smith did? You got to be kidding me.
We got time.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm going to tell you a few things. One of the things that hurt the Bears last year is they were not able to get the plays in a decent amount of time. They burned so many timeouts timeouts, and it wasn't because of a 2-minute drive. It wasn't trying to kick a field goal. They burned timeouts because they could not get the plays in. So you know who's there calling the plays now? Mark Trestman. Mark Trestman is getting the plays in and increasing their pace.
Oh.
Hey,
it was the timeouts. You're right.
Jermon Bushrod.
You're
it's
so
a bunch
smart.
Of little things. It's a bunch of little things that are going to turn this thing around. Hey, let's go to what's pretty well known as the inferior conference, the AFC North. We've got the Super Bowl champion Ravens returning. They won it at 10-6. Cincinnati also at 10-6 got the wild card. Pittsburgh Steelers, Steve, your team finished 500. Something I called last year them not making the playoffs, and we got lowly Cleveland at 5-11. What are you guys seeing happening out here? Let's start with you, Steve.
I'm gonna go out with a bold prediction and say that the Baltimore Ravens will not make the playoffs this year.
It's not that bold.
And I'm going to say the Cincinnati Bengals are going to win the division. But the Steelers are still going to get into the playoffs on a wild card situation. The Cincinnati is definitely rising in the division. You got a lot of young talent on that team. Got a good defense. It all depends on Andy Dalton, and how he carries this team. The Steelers, I mean, it's a frustrating situation because they didn't make the playoffs last year, but they drafted Le'Veon Bell. Hopefully he can get healthy before the season starts. Jarvis Jones, hopefully he can start making some havoc, and we'll see what happens. But I still think Cincinnati will win the division, but Pittsburgh's going to be right behind them.
Okay, one for Cincinnati. You bring up injuries. When you talk injuries, you also got to mention Big Ben and Troy Polamalu. So, well, definitely a formidable team. They can all stay healthy, but we'll see what happens. Still have 16 games to play. Demola, what do you think? AFC North?
I actually 100% agree with Stephen Herman Davis on this one. I've got the Browns coming in last place, then the Ravens and the Steelers, and then the Bengals winning that division. The Bengals are strong. They've got a great combo in AJ Green and and Andy Dalton. I think the Steelers, even though they lost, Mike Wallace, I still think they got a great back in Le'Veon Bell. I think he's going to be a fantasy steal this year. Their defense is still going to be able to at least be formidable. I think a top 10 defense in the NFL, and they'll probably lead. Maybe it'll be a little bit better than the Ravens defense within the division. So I 100% agree with Steve. I think that one's kind of an open and shut case in terms of who's going to win the division in the Bengals. But when you look at who's going to finish between 2 and 3, the Ravens or the Steelers, that's going to be what's kind of a toss-up. And I'm going to lean towards the Steelers in this year.
Man, Bengals are running away so far. And who could follow each other? Abriel Jeremiah Green is in one word, a beast. If you don't count the A,
yeah,
that would be 2 words.
My opinion, best receiver in the NFL.
And that's fair. I mean, it'll be a good debate. Marv, wrap it up. What do you think is going to happen in this division?
First and foremost, let's discuss this best receiver. There's a man in Detroit named Calvin Johnson who's the best receiver in football. With that being said, as I continue, everybody's hopping on this Steeler bandwagon and saying that they're going to be better. Word just in, Le'Veon Bell has a Liz Frank injury out for another 6 weeks. Look like the Steelers are back to being old and injured like I thought they would be. That's why I do have Cincinnati. I'm running with Hard Knocks this year, winning that division. I do have the Ravens finishing second. Yeah, I give it to the Super Bowl champs, but I'm going to put the Browns ahead of the Steelers this year.
Oh, hell no. So disrespectful.
That's blasphemous. Like, seriously. Name
Marvin,
3 players on the Browns.
And
if you can name 3 players on the Browns, I'll give you $1. Name 3 players
You know
on the
Marv
Browns.
don't do it. Tell
Brandon
Marv.
Weeden, Joe Hayden, Deion Lewis, Josh Gordon.
Took too
Joe
long.
Thomas.
But yes, thank you.
Oh, man. We definitely going to come back to this show and see what your prediction is.
And before I was really interrupted,
Defend
Cleveland
yourself.
Browns have a new management coming in. They have North Turner as their offensive coordinator, who is a great offensive coordinator. They have Ray Horton, who is down at the Cardinals, who is a great defensive coordinator coming in.
With the bad head of cornrowed hair.
With the worst hair possible in the NFL. But
It's like 40.
I think the Cleveland Browns are ready to make that jump. The only thing that concerns me is their running back injuries. with Trent Richardson in the backfield, and as a fantasy superstar that he is, it's going to be a black and blue division. And if they could sneak out a couple of wins here and there, I could see them easily surpassing the old and injured Steelers. I give it to their defense, but you can't name nobody on their offense. Name they starting running back right now. Name they starting receivers.
Who? For who?
Steelers.
Steve,
Jonathan Dwyer, Antonio Smith.
Oh, wow.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh, stop right there. Jonathan Dwyer. He's going to be
Jonathan Dwyer did good last year.
He's going to be 1,000-yard running. He's going to make the pro. He's going to have.
We don't need no Pro Bowl. We don't need no Pro Bowl running back. We just need somebody who can move the chains, keep the offense on the field.
Talking about moving the chains and keeping the offense on the field. Okay, we talk about, this sophomore slump. Brandon Whedon's going to be 29. He's not your average first-round drafted quarterback. Marv did mention Trent Richardson, a guy that, there are articles that said about 3 years down the line, Trent Richardson will be the best running back in the NFL. And I mean, yes, it's preseason, and Whedon has looked great, but I mean, this defense, one thing you cannot say is that this defense has not showed up to play even last year. Now they got Ray Horton, who was amazing out there in Arizona. Is it so mind-boggling to see the Browns taking this kind of leap, Damola?
Yeah, to me it is. They're not proven. They haven't proved anything. I'm not gonna, and to me it's not even a leap. It's going from 4 to 3. It's not like we're talking about like the Chiefs who can arguably go from the lower half of their division to winning their division, or at least getting into the playoffs. Not winning, but getting into the playoffs. This isn't like some remarkable jump. Yeah, maybe they'll win 2 or 3 or 4 more games, but they're not beating the Bengals to win the division. They're not going to make the playoffs.
If you want to give them a few more games,
I know, but I'm talking about categorizing them as making a leap from last year to this year. It's not a leap. It's maybe a step in the right direction. And are they going to take the step in the right direction? Sure. Do I really give a damn? No.
Cleveland rocks.
Well, there you have it. We will talk about all the other divisions week by week as we get ready for what should be another good season. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, like the video, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. And if you didn't like this video, like the video, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Thank you for watching. Damol, thanks for joining us again. Marvin, always appreciate you. Steve, you the man. Keep a ring on it. Phirst Contention, thank you for watching.
Ride with Phirst Contention, that's full throttle in. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Game face grit, like born for playoffs. Say it all in small time like payoff.